I gotta be honest with you guys, that's because I do a lot of DPS builds in my channel, but I actually doesn't quite show you my main role in the channel. So my main role is basically main tanking and leading the trials. If you don't know, in the past I made a lot of videos that shows the tanking in some specific stuff, etc., some special contents in the game. And for today video I come up with the build that I need to show it to you for my main tank, Dragonknight. If you are new, consider joining the channel and subscribe as well and like the video, and let's just straight jump into this. As of course usual, we will go into the character stats. First of all, we do have 64 into health to reach 40k maximum health, and we have 20.8k maximum magicka with 865 mech recovery and 24.5k max stamina with 514 stamina recovery and 23.6k spell and physical resistances, of course unbuffed. And we are using the Mundus stone to get a magicka recovery, and the food is bewitched sugar skull. This should be very cheap to run. We are vampire stage 3 or more you need to be, and to get in order to get the damage mitigation from the vampirism. And if we go into the skills, you can see that the race is north. You get max health and frost resistances, you get max stamina, and when you take damage you gain 5 ultimate every 10 seconds. This is insane straight. And you get 2.6k physical and spell resistances. So more or less, if we pop up the potion, go back bar, put the balance, go front, you can see 29.6k resistances and 1.1k mech recovery. Although it is still not completely buffed, as I will show to you in a second. If we pop this up and then I put this on, you can see 32.8k spell and physical resistances, even though they are not quite maxed out. So you can see 36k, like right here, 37k. Even this is overkill. It is 100% overkill. We can do another way. Like, you may think, okay, if you are getting buffed too much like this, why we are dropping the unbuffed resistances, and then when you just buff yourself you just reach the cap, which that is, we can see in here. Oh my god, this broken game. You can see that in here actually, just with the balance, it clearly says on the right side the resistances has a cap at 50% or 33k rating. So in most of them we are 45% and at 29k resistances, and when we completely buff we kind of have like 37k resistance. But you should consider that most of the trials, alright, this is the trial build. Of course you can run this in the dungeons too, but most of the trials and the dungeons anyways debuff your resistances. So in order to reach and stay at the cap the whole time, you kinda need to overcap it a little bit, and then that way you will not get collapsed basically. So about the item sets, on the front bar we have Master Perfected Axe and Shield. The axe is infused to reduce the target weapon and spell damage by 226 for 5 seconds, and the shield is sturdy with the Hakejo glyph on it to get tri-stat. This drops from the Dragon Star, you may be familiar. It is like you can't give up. If you are playing tank, you can't give up on that special weapon. You get 3% healing taken, and when you deal damage with puncture, which is our taunt, you heal for 5.8k health, and you get spell and physical resistances equal to the amount of healing or overhealing done for 5 seconds, and the heal scales off your max health. So there's a couple ways to buff this up. You can use the shield and then use the coagulating blood to further buff it, the bonus, and also having Warden in your team and increasing your health further, you can actually get more healing. And as much as you get more healing, you basically get more resistances, around even 10k. So for that reason, still though, you don't need to go like 50k health to get this, okay? So 40k, even 37, 38k is very much fine with this. I literally don't have any trouble with the Magicka stamina. So for this reason, I don't see another point to go with the stamina or Magicka in the attributes. I just dump all of them into the health because my stam and Magicka is always perfect. I never have trouble with the sustain. On the back bar we have Ice Staff of the PA. It is charged with the frost damage, and of course there's a flex spot that you can go infused and you can run Crusher enchantment to reduce the enemy resistances. This is the first thing you need to know about this build, and otherwise you can just go and try to do Brittle with the Ice Staff, with the Blockade, etc. So we have Ice Staff of the PA. It is charged with the Frost. Basically in the group, when you use the Assault skill, you give yourself and up to 5 other people in 12 meters 307, if I'm not wrong, 307 weapon and spell damage for 15 seconds. And we do have 3 jewels: Necklace of the PA, ring, and another ring. They are all infused. They are all reduce the cost of block glyph, and you get 324 reduced cost of block. So if we go in here actually on the front bar, you can see the block cost is 359. You can actually even further reduce it, but you don't exactly need too much, so it is very much fine to have just 3 block cost infused rings. And we do have helmet and the shoulder Nazari, 1 sturdy, 2 sturdy in here, but I will come into it. So Nazari, all of them is with the Hakeijo, and you get 1.2k health, and when you use an ultimate ability, the closest 6 enemies within 12 meters have all major debuffs and minor debuffs that they currently have, extended by 1 second per 20 ultimate you have spent, and this will proc every 30 seconds for each enemy. So if they have major debuffs and minor debuffs on them, which they should have, especially in the trials, you can just pop up the ultimate on your back bar or the front bar, whatever, and then for every 20 ultimate you have spent, the debuffs will increase, extend the duration by 1 second. If you pop up the Warhorn, for example, you're gonna increase the duration to more 15 more seconds. So this is really mad. And the reason that we have 1 sturdy is just fine, and we do have 1 reinforced, increase the item armor value, and the other set is the sack seal. So the chest is sturdy with the tri-stat glyph on it. Sack seals gives you some damage mitigation, Magicka, stamina, etc. And when you use the ultimate ability, basically you give everyone major force for 1 second per 15 ultimate spent, and it increasing the crit damage done by 20%. So it is working like straight Warhorn. There is of course alternate sets if you don't want to run Saxiel. You can do like Turning Tide, Orion Nacrin, blah blah. But I will make completely different videos for those, so in order to not to confuse a lot. And so we do have chest, waist, hands, legs, and the feet, all of them heavy. Helmet, shoulder is the heavy as well, and all of them sturdy except the legs is infused. There's 2 different items that doesn't have sturdy, so you can still decrease the block cost a little bit more, but it is very much fine to run even reinforced or infused or even device. By the way, they are all fine at this point because the jewel glyphs are giving you way too much reduced cost for the block already. So you can see like 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and then the chest is all Saxiel and all heavy and all tri-stat glyph, and this is the things. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention, that delete this, that we are running the tri-stat potion obviously, and that's it. About the skills, if we come into here, we have the chain on the front bar. The first skill, you deal a little bit damage and you get major expedition after you hit the target, and you basically pull the enemies, the small enemies, to yourself. And we have Ignatius Shield. It gives you the damage shield and to other people as well, and your own damage shield absorbs more damage basically, and this will scale with your maximum health. And you get major mending, increasing your healing down by 16% for 3 seconds. So you just put this on and then pop up the Dragon Blood and then the Vigor even, and then you are very much ready to go. But of course, the third skill is the Green Dragon Blood. You need to have it up, obviously, because you will get healing received by 8% for 23 seconds. So no matter what you do, always put the Dragon Blood, Ignatius Shield and not the Dragon Blood. No matter what, it should be up. And then you go back bar and put the Vigor and proc Powerful Assault as well. And the fourth skill is a Lingering Flare from the PvP. You don't need to use it ever. Literally, you are not gonna use that skill. You just put this on your bar, and when you slot this, you get major protection, reducing your damage taken by 10%. That's the whole point of having it on the bar. And we have Pierce Armor. It deals a bit damage and it will taunt the enemy to attack to you for 15 seconds. Also, it will put the Minor Breach and Major Breach. It will reduce their resistances by 9,000 for 15 seconds. And the last skill is the ultimate Temporal Guard from the Sijic ultimate. I'm sorry, you gotta farm this thing. When you put this on, you get minor protection, reducing your damage taken by 5%. So we have minor protection and major protection, healing received, minor vitality, major endurance, major fortitude, major mending, and like we put minor breach and major breach to the enemy as well. And on the back bar we have major resolve to get the 6k physical and spell resistances for ourselves, and in exchange that you sacrifice 5.8k health. This is from major skill, and yes, you need to farm the major skill too. Sorry for it. In order to get the Magicka if you have any trouble. And also you get major resolve, physical and spell resistances, and the exchange reduces your healing done and damage shield power by 50% for 4 seconds. So I will come into the rotation, but you shouldn't, if you do this, you need to wait until you heal yourself, otherwise you cannot heal yourself. All the healing and the damage done will be reduced by 50%. And there's a blockade of frost. It will immobilize and chill the enemies, and then the chilled enemies will become frozen and they will get immobilized for 4 seconds, and it will put the frost safeguard to the people, and it will absorb 10.7k damage from the projectiles, etc, etc, and it will proc the brittle as well. And we have a selfish shield from assault skill line, resolving vigor, 12.2k health over 5 seconds. It is unbuffed, of course, because if we buff like this, you can see that 15k health, even if we do this, 15k health over 5 seconds, and after you cast it, you get minor resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistances by 3k for 20 seconds. So at this point, again, I will show you something very much quick. If we go away from here, okay, so let's just go and put this up, put this up, put this up, and then if we go into, wait, if we go into here, you can see 41.5k physical and spell resistance. This is overkill. This is way more overkill. Like, literally straight. This is, I guess you can even use it in the PvP, but yeah, it may not work because we don't have crit rest, don't we? It is not going to work in the PvP. But yeah, you have 41k resistances, and this is mad. And also, of course, you need to use the vigor from the assault skill line in order to proc the powerful assault, because you need to use the assault ability on your back bar while you are in the combat to give the weapon and spell damage for 15 seconds to your friends. And the fourth skill is the Frost Clench. You deal a little bit damage and you will apply the chilled status effect, and you will taunt the enemy to attack you for 15 seconds. So in here, clench and the blockade works together. As you can see, if you clench the guy, and they will become chilled, and if you put the blockade afterwards, it says clearly chilled enemies become frozen and they are immobilized for 4 seconds. It is very easy way to proc the brittle on the enemy. And then we have already, that I said, we already have charged stuff with the frost damage glyph on it, blah blah, so this is quite intense. And we have the range taunt, inner rage, it deals a little bit damage, and then it will taunt the enemy for 15 seconds as well, and some other people can use the synergy, deal a little bit damage. And the ultimate that we are gonna use is the aggressive horn. It increases max magic and max stamina of everyone in 20 meters for 30 seconds. And also you and your everyone in the group, in the trial, whatever, 12 people, will get the major force, increasing their crit damage by 20% for 10 seconds. So you can see in here that is actually giving you the crit damage for 10 seconds, and this is cost around 280 ultimate. So if you combine this with the suck seal in here, you will get 17 seconds, blah blah. So basically, more or less, forgive me if I'm wrong, you will get around close to 30 seconds of crit damage for the group. This is crazy with the suck seal. This is insane, like straight insane. And since the skills are done, there's no flex spot, literally. The only thing that I don't think there's any skill that you can even replace with. I mean, there's some skills, of course, like Stone Giant, you know, like you put the stagger on the enemy, and then you can sometimes run the deep breath if you are going into some trials that needs an interruption, etc. I'm just saying it so you can replace the chain with the either deep breath or the stone giant, or basically nothing else. Maybe the perch as well. So if you are going VHOF, you can run the perch instead of the chains. So that's those skills, like literally there's nothing else. The perch, you need the perch. You don't need altar, let someone run it actually. You cannot do everything as a tank, alright? Or the stone giant or the deep breath, and that's it. Those three skills is all you can replace in this setup instead of unrelenting grip chain, and that's it. Keep everything else as it is. It is just perfect as the way they are right now. The champion points. Green, do as you like. The blue, don't do whatever you like, okay? In here, we go here, we have Ironclad, reduce the damage from direct damage attacks by 6%. We go out, we check here, we have Unassailable. Reduce your damage taken by from AoE attacks by 6%. And the Enduring Resolve, reduce your damage taken from damage over time attacks by 6% too. And we have Duelist Rebuff, reduce your damage taken by single target attacks that you get by 6% as well. This is the blue CP, and if you go into the red one, you can see that I don't have Boundless Vitality. I tried, but it doesn't really necessary at this point. I have enough. In here, we do have Pain's Refuge. Reduce your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects active on you, up to a maximum of 20%. So, up to 10 negative effects, basically you will reach this cap in that CP and you will get a huge damage mitigation in your tank, and plus the vampirism too, but I will come into this, okay? I will make timestamps in the description, and you can literally see the key elements or something like that, the tips and the tricks for the build video, so you can see how actually things works around. In here we don't have nothing, I'm sorry, wait. Alright, in here I will start from the right side. The second CP is the Ward Master. Reduce your damage taken by 10% when you block, while you are blocking, and under the effects of a damage shield, which is Ignatius Shield, so it is better you just spam it every second, all the time, always, keep it up, okay? Not just when you are trying to heal yourself. Use the shield all the time. You don't need to have 100% magic at all time. The third CP on the red skill line is the Bracing Anchor. If you are in the combat, it will increase the amount of damage you can block by 20%, which means you get 20% block mitigation. But it will reduce your movement speed by 16% at all stages, so it doesn't matter if your movement speed drops down. And this is the Soothing Shield. This is actually a free slot. Okay. It says when you successfully block an attack, you have 15% chance to restore 735 health. It is not perfect even. You don't need 735 health when you get damage and when you block the attack, and it is working with the chance. But you just straight have nothing to replace it with. Like there's some CP on guard while under the effects of CC immunity, blah blah, but they are PvP oriented and they are completely useless. Like there's Bastion, increase your damage shield power, or like, you know, it is completely up to you. Next roll dodge is free of cost if you are going to Asylum, or you can use the maximum health, but I don't suggest that. So just the way it is with the soothing shield is just straight fine. Like literally you just get a passive around 1k healing every time you block an attack with 15% chance. Should be very much fine if you ask me. So why not use it? Just use it straight. And as I already did show it to you, but I will put this screenshots that I just got from this video right now on the screen so you can see the kind of fully buffed stats, but it is still not fully buffed stats, okay? Everything will become more, obviously, and if we come into some key things, I already did mention in the skill timestamp, the skill chapter in this video, but if I would like to go very quick about it, you have the chain and then the Ignatius shield. Basically you put this on to get the major manning, and then you put the dragon blood in order to get healing received and more healing, because the major manning gives you 16% more healing. And then when you need heal, you put the dragon blood on and just use this skill only if your health is missing a lot. Otherwise you just don't spam. It is not gonna heal you. You can see 76, 17. It is a shocking. So just use the dragon blood when you have basically no health. If I would like to show it to you, put this and then heal, boom, 18k, crazy. And then of course you go back bar, put the vigor on, and you are very much fine, you can see. And keep the dragon blood up because it increases your healing received. And lingering flare, you just put this on the bar. And the pierce armor, a lot of tanks in the trials or the dungeons or the random dungeons even that I play to get the transmute crystals is insane. Like actually an hour ago I was in the Mazatun and Frost Vault for the random dungeon for the daily, and I mean I don't want to be the bad guy or accuse anyone, but there's a lot of people that literally use this pierce armor and they don't use the skill for 1 minute straight. Bro, this is not a 1 minute cooldown skill, okay? So pierce armor, you should use it as much as you can use on everything, just straight. It is spammable, okay? Spam that skill. It costs 1.3k stamina. This is nothing. And you can see like there's a reason that we do have the master weapons here. The buff and the resistance and the healing you are gonna get from the master stuff is for 5 seconds. So theoretically you should run that skill every 5 seconds to keep the uptime on the resistances, right? But you are not forced to. So the master weapons, talking about it, it is passive healing. It is kind of forcing you to run the pierce armor anyways. That's because you get healing when you taunt the guy with your one-hand and shield skill. So you are kind of forced. Temporal guard, it is just there to get the minor protection in your bar, and this is it. You don't use this. On the back bar we obviously gonna use the aggressive horn all the time. And the balance to get the Magicka. So on the back bar it is the frost staff. If we do it that way, from the Desro staff skill line that we do have it up active, so our Magicka is not refreshing, but when you block and then just use the balance, you can just refresh your Magicka and you can literally tank it unlimited. Like it's a glitch or something, like straight. You can just block on the frost stuff, spam balance, have a healer heal you, and this is very much it. It's very crazy to have. It is like unlimited block. Of course, you can even go ice stuff on the front bar even, but I just like having the master stuff, so it's just very much fine for me. And the blockade of frost I already mentioned. You just use the clench on the enemy, and then the frost. That's because frost clench also puts the major main for 5 seconds, reducing the enemy's damage down by 10%. So it is a free damage mitigation for you. And it will put the chilled effect. And when you put the chilled effect, you put the blockade. The chilled enemies becomes frozen, and you will proc the brittle that way. And then the vigor is here to heal yourself. You get a minor resolve, 3k physical and spell instances for 20 seconds. This is nice. And you get crazy health for 5 seconds too. And the inner rage, just to range taunt the enemies. What I usually do about the rotation, like there's not exactly a rotation, the rotation exists completely. Oh my god, I got a block bug. Unbelievable, I can't block. Oh, fixed. Nice. Literally what you do is just chain the enemies, if there's any, and then keep the coagulating blood up, this up, and then balance up. And as the enemies come, you just put the blockade and the clench as well. And if the enemy is away, just put the taunt, go to your front, just stand block. And if you have magic, just put the initial shield, because the magic recovery is going to work on your front bar, obviously. And then you just taunt the enemy, all of them, and then just keep light attacks, of course, and then the debuff them, and interrupt the people as well. So I can't exactly show you in here, of course, but you know, like in a lot of videos, in other videos that you can see it, it is very much easy to do. Of course, that video is kind of old, but it doesn't matter. It's like, this is what you do to survive, in order to survive. And I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Actually, I'm looking forward to hear a lot from you. That's because main tanking and off tanking means a lot to me. And of course, I will explain and make different builds for different classes and different sets, different skills, etc., for different content, like the PvP, even PvE, PvP, trial, or the dungeon tanks, blah blah. I will do a lot of stuff that I'm working on. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below what you think about it, and consider joining the channel as a member to get all the benefits from the channel perks too, and join Discord again. And see you all in the next video. Take care of yourself, guys. Have fun. Bye bye.